I'm Ashley Dvorkin for Fox 411. My guest today famously played the mom of the household that helped E.T. phone home, earned icon status in the horror film genre, continues to star in film and on TV, and is now focused on a new project, an interactive toy designed to help kids with self-esteem called MySelfie. It's Dee Wallace, so welcome.
Hi, Ashley.
Thanks for being here.
Lovely.
You're back in a new studio. Does that bring back any memories of that iconic scene in The Howling when you transformed?
Yeah, you want to hear me scream?
I know.
That was a really hard scene to play.
I can imagine. And is it true that you were not supposed to be shown as a werewolf at all?
Yes. Back in those days, for some reason, it was very important to have those kind of things in your contract. So, yes, I wasn't. And ultimately, they called me after they got all the infamous cards, you know, from the preview audiences. And Joe Dante called and said, they really want to see you as a werewolf. And I went, well, I'm shooting Cujo. And they went, well, we don't need you. We just need your character. So that's all an animatronic.
Oh, okay.
At the end of The Howling.
What did you think then when you saw it?
Well, I asked them if they could make her a little more vulnerable, and so they came up with this Bambi werewolf at the end.
So. It is. It's a little sweeter than the usual werewolves that you see. Yeah. Well, like the look of it, it's a little different. Of all the horror films you did, though, just on your horror movie, resume, you mentioned Cujo, The Hills Have Eyes. As an audience member, which one would have scared you the most?
Oh, I think Cujo, hands down, especially now that I'm a mother. Cujo could really happen. Yeah, and has really happened. And I think when I was growing up, The Exorcist was always the scariest movie to me because in my mind I thought, wow, maybe somebody could be taken over. Now I know better. But I think the real things are the ones, and Cujo's also the film I'm really, really proudest of for my work.
Yeah, well, what do you think of the horror film genre now and all the sub-genres sort of within it?
Subgenre, that's a general way of saying it. The slasher films?
Well, there's so many different kinds of films that fit under the horror genre, I guess.
A true horror film really develops its characters. Really has a storyline, not, hi, here's the 6 characters, watch how gruesomely we can kill them all off, So I don't think you have a lot of true horror films anymore.
Yeah, and then just on E.T., because we mentioned it, what was it like working with Steven Spielberg on this film that would, of course, find its place in cinema history? I mean,
I don't know. What's it like working with a genius who knows exactly what he wants and casts everybody perfectly so that everybody can bring together a masterpiece that continues to change the world? You don't get experiences like that.
Yeah,
a whole bunch in your life, usually.
Course. Yeah.
So I cannot tell you. I actually really want to write a book about all of the feedback that I've gotten from how E.T. has changed people's lives.
Yeah. I'm sure you've heard so many stories over the years.
And miraculous ones. Can I share one?
Of course, please do.
This mother came up to me at a signing I was doing, and tears were streaming down her face, and she said, Miss Wallace, you don't know that you were part of a miracle in my life, but I have to tell you, my son is autistic, and I had not heard him speak for 10 years, a word. And I took him to see the re-release of E.T., and on the way home, he started saying every line that E.T. said. I mean, as a mother, you're sitting there witnessing a miracle that you never thought you'd have with your child. And
yeah, that's incredible.
That movie transcends your heart.
Yes.
In more ways than we can ever imagine.
Absolutely. We'll talk about, you're in New York now for the Toy Fair. And tell me about MySelfie. Tell me where the idea for this came from, because this is to help kids with self-esteem.
Yes. Well, MySelfie is my little bear. And self-esteem has been a really, really important part of my life study ever since my daughter was born. And then, as you know, I got into the life coaching and the healing arts also. And the more I worked with my clients, the more I realized none of us really truly know what it means to love ourselves. We're taught how to love ourselves by what we do, and we're worthy by what we can accomplish, but not just by who we are. And studies, there's millions of studies that support the fact that your child, our personality is literally embedded in us between the age of 4 to 7.
Mm-hmm.
So if we are not taught to truly love ourselves and feel good about ourselves by the time we're 4 to 7 years old, we carry that out through our whole life. Every single subject in our life then is built upon the amount of self-love and self-esteem we have for ourselves. And that's why when we get to be adults, we go, well, it's not okay to be powerful. I was never taught that I could be powerful. I never taught it was okay to say, aren't I magnificent?
Mm-hmm.
And so I really tried to give that to my child, and now I've developed my little guy here.
Yeah, so what does he do?
Well,
what is it?
In his paw, he says wonderful statements. I can be anything I want to be. And the child says that back to this best friend. And then the bear says, I love my body, which for children all the way now, it's devastating, from like 6 all the way through 1920. Our body image is just pounded into us, boys and girls. Weight issues, bullying, anorexia, bulimia, low grade average, even staying in school, all has to do with the image that you have for yourself. So the beauty of this is whatever demographic, and it goes over all demographics. It doesn't matter if it's a poor family, it doesn't matter if it's a wealthy family. The point is, we don't spend enough time with our kids. We don't have the time to spend with our kids. And this little guy allows the child to start claiming those things for themselves. I am so loved is one of the statements on here.
Great. Well, very nice. And I know that we can find more information on your website for this,
Yes.
as well as your work with inspirational speaking and your film work and TV work. I see
Yes.
there's more of that, of course, coming up.
Lots
So you're
more.
very busy.
I'm very busy.
Dee, thank you so much for being here. Really appreciate it.
Great to be here. Thank you.
And visit imdeewallace.com for more information on all of the above. Thank you so much for watching. For Fox 411, I'm Ashley Dvorkin.